Deep thoughts, shallow host. All right, settle down, you knuckleheads. Uncle Bob did some reading for you. Let's get into it. You ever get that feeling? You know the one. Like your whole life, your job, your house, your family, it's all got you jammed into some tiny little container. You're not a person, you're a collectible action figure in the guy who is mildly disappointed with everything playset, and your feet are super glued to the plastic base.
Well, would you believe it? Some French philosophers with too much time on their hands actually came up with a $50 word for that exact feeling: segmentarity. Seriously. It sounds like a disease you get from eating bad calamari, doesn't it? Sorry, boss, can't come in today. Got a real bad case of the segmentarity.
Okay, so strap in, you maniacs, because this is where the crazy train pulls out of the station, and the scary part is, it's going to start to make a little bit of sense. So their big idea is that your whole life is basically one of those plastic TV dinner trays from when you were a kid. Yeah, your job is in one compartment, your family's in another, your house is in a third, and nothing is supposed to touch. You got your lumpy career potatoes over here, your gray, mysterious family meatloaf over there, and your single, sad little personal hobby sitting in its own little cup.
And apparently, this life tray of yours comes in 3 distinct, miserable flavors. First, you got your binary segment. That's simple. It's this or that, on or off. Men's room, ladies' room. You're either a boss or you're a loser. No in between. Then you got your circular segment. Think of a dartboard. The bullseye, that's you and your problems. The next ring out is your family's problems. Then the neighborhood's problems, all the way out to the edge of the board where it's like, is there a God? And finally, there's the linear one. This is your life on a conveyor belt. You're not at home anymore, you're in school. You're not in school anymore, you're at work. You're not at work anymore, you're in the ground. See? Each box you leave, the door slams shut behind you.
But check this out. This is where it gets interesting. They talk about 2 kinds of setups, supple and rigid. So a supple system is like a pickup basketball game at the park, right? The rules are kind of loose, you argue about fouls right there, the teams are just whoever showed up. But a rigid system, that's the NFL. There's a rule book the size of a phone book, a head office in New York, and if you even think about stepping out of line, some guy in a suit fines you $100 grand. Guess which one we're living in, folks? Yeah, one big, overregulated league. Okay, so just when you think you got it, you think you're wrapping your head around this TV dinner nonsense, these guys throw another wrench in the works. Turns out, all this stuff is happening on 2 different levels at the same time. So first, you got the molar level. Think molar like a big, dumb tooth. This is the big, obvious stuff. The government, the law, the official chart at your job that shows the CEO on top and you at the bottom holding up the whole pyramid. It's the stuff that's easy to see, the stuff they tell you is real. But see, underneath all that, you've got the molecular, the tiny, squirming, microscopic stuff. This isn't the org chart. This is the real world. This is the gossip around the water cooler, the secret fears everyone has, the petty grudges, the weird little desires. It's the stuff that actually makes the world go round, all this invisible, buzzing energy. Here's the perfect way to think about it. On that big, molar level, you're Bob the accountant. Solid, dependable. That's your label. But on the molecular level, you're a bubbling pot of chaos. You're a guy who's secretly terrified of moths, and you spend your nights drawing up a business plan for a barbershop where, I don't know, ferrets get into a hot shave. See? You're both things at the exact same time. So what happens when you're stuck in that big, rigid molar box, but you're filled up with all this weird, squirmy, molecular energy? Well, you start looking for the fire exit, don't you? And that's what these silly geese call a line of flight. It's a jailbreak. It's when some of that molecular weirdness finally punches a hole through the cardboard molar box. It's you actually quitting your job to open the ferret barbershop. It's an escape route, a mutation, a way of kicking over the whole damn TV dinner tray and yelling, I'm not eating this garbage anymore.
You know, this whole thing reminds me of my buddy Dave. Oh my God. The guy's brain is a bag of wet squirrels, I swear. But he decides to throw a block party.
So Dave has this Malera plan, right? A rigid schedule written on a whiteboard, hot dogs at 2, 3-legged race at 3, mandatory fun for everyone. That was the official party. But the malaria reality? Oh, it was a beautiful disaster. All the little neighborhood beefs started boiling up. Mrs. Henderson was convinced Dave's dog was planning an invasion of her prize-winning petunias. The kids took over the bounce house, declared it a sovereign nation, and started demanding juice boxes as tribute. It was pure chaos. And while all this is going on, Kevin from down the street, a guy who nobody even invited, he decides the party is a, quote, violation of his sovereign territory. So what does he do? He takes a line of flight. He wheels out this giant catapult he built in his driveway and starts launching water balloons at the grill. Just total annihilation. Took out a whole platter of burgers. Now that is a line of flight, my friends. Get a load of this head case. But here's the kicker. Here's the catch. Taking that line of flight, making that grand escape, it's not all water balloons and ferret barbershops. No, no, no. There's a dark side, a really dark side. So these French guys say there are 4 big dangers when you try to escape. First one is fear. You peek outside the box, you get scared, and you jump right back in because it's safe. Second is clarity. You start seeing all the little molecular details and you get a big head. You think you've figured it all out, and you become a little tyrant of your own tiny kingdom. Third is power. You try to grab the reins of both the big plan and all the little chaotic bits, and you just drive yourself completely insane. But that fourth one is the big one. Because that fourth danger is when your escape plan, your line of flight, stops being about building something new and just becomes about destroying everything. A pure, passionate, burning desire to smash the whole machine to bits. And this is where it gets real heavy, folks. Because these guys say that desire, that's where fascism comes from. So get this, the big takeaway here is that fascism isn't some super rigid top-down plan. Not really. It's a line of flight that's gone bad, like a cancer. It takes all that molecular energy, all that desire to escape the box, and it points it at one thing, pure destruction. It's not about building a better system, it's about a love for burning everything to the ground, including yourself. And I'm not just making this up. This is real. At the end of World War II, Hitler basically said that if Germany loses the war, the German people deserve to be wiped out with him. It's the final stop on that train of thought. Your great escape becomes a suicide pact. The desire for freedom gets twisted into a passion for death. What a bunch of sick puppies. So that's the whole shebang. You feel trapped in the TV dinner of life. You see that emergency exit. You take that line of flight. But what happens when you kick open the door and realize you're at 30,000 feet? What happens when the whole escape plan is just to blow up the whole damn plane with everyone on it? Huh? Chew on that, you knuckleheads.